Hi, I'm Emma Friedlander-Collins. I'm a crochet designer and author, and I specialise in upcycling and remaking. And today I'm going to share with you 5 different tips on how to upcycle and remake using crochet. If you want to find more out about my process, you can come and check out my course on Domestika. Nowadays we don't really interact with our clothes very much, we're just used to buying stuff because it's really cheap. In the olden times, we would have made almost everything we wore, and I think what's really empowering is just getting confident enough to chop into stuff. The first tip is, if you're going to start cutting up your clothes, especially if you're going to be working on something like a t-shirt or a garment where it's a symmetrical thing, fold it in half before you make a cut. So if I fold something like this in half, I then just take my scissors and I'd cut it off. Just get hacking, it's that simple. And that left me room to create new edges, and I used a bit of crochet to do that with some simple running stitch and a little bit of treble crochet. We've remade this into what was like a boxy boy tee. It was my husband's, I totally stole it, in something a lot more feminine and that I really love to wear. This is a way of reworking denim. Now I've made a whole bunch of blankets with some big long bits of denim. So this is trying to find ways to reuse the teeny tiny scraps we have left over. And this is where something like this comes in. This big beast is a leather punch. It's really inexpensive, but you can use it to punch holes all the way around the edge. And then, well, this is what my tiny crochet hook for. And this is again what we're going to do on my course. So we can just start working straight through the edge there and start putting together something that can be really beautiful. Tip number 3 doesn't use crochet. This is a plain white shirt, and this is decorated using embroidery from old like table mats and stuff you can find in secondhand and thrift stores. There's a product called Bondaweb, or it's just like an iron-on transfer. So you iron it onto the back of your tapestry, then you can cut it out and none of it frays, it all stays together beautifully, and then you can use it to applique in this instance. And because it's just iron on, you can just iron it straight onto that. You don't even have to do any hand sewing. And this actually looks really, really beautiful. This was a shirt, again, this was a secondhand store. So this little guy here, for example, is a little drawing my son did. So I just took a washable pen and drew it onto my shirt, like transferred it. And then this is just using embroidery thread and a bit of back stitching. And actually, I know I'm going to keep this now forever because, again, it's created some sort of meaning for me, and I think that's what upcycling and making can really do for you and the garments in your wardrobe. Last week, this was a jumper. This week, it is now a cushion. I think people can get really intimidated about working with knit, especially cutting into it, because you just think it's going to fray apart. And what is brilliant really is as soon as you've sewn it together, I did use a sewing machine for this one, it's absolutely fine. It's not going to come apart, it's not going to unravel. I added these bobbles with a bit of crochet again. If I get fed up of those, I can take them off and I can redress it with something else. Or I can cover up the whole thing over with a completely new cover at some point, and it just keeps going. So the more we think about how we can reuse stuff, the longer a life we give it, and the better for everybody, basically. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to this channel. If you want to find out more about me and my process and crochet and upcycling, you can find a link to my course below.